In this video, I want to share with you my most recent training, which is called Ancestral Clearing and DNA Healing. And I have to say that of the certifications that I have, this is probably the most powerful. I literally just got certified on the October 9th. And the idea with this is that trauma that's been suffered by our ancestors changes their DNA, and then it ripples down the ancestral line, creating ill effects in our lives right now. And so we are the ones currently that have the power to change that by going through this powerful process. And it's said that we're affected 7 generations back, and it affects 7 generations forward. Now, the person that trained me actually came across someone that she worked with, and I can't remember whether she said it was 21 or 24 generations back. So it really can be very powerful. So, for example, people who went through the Irish potato famine, they tend to have this lack. There's fear that they're never going to have enough. So these are the kind of people that you open their cupboards and you open their fridge and their freezers, and even though there's only 2 people in the household, everything's packed because they're afraid of running out of food. They're afraid of not having enough to eat. And that is one of the things that caused all the panic buying when COVID hit. Everybody was just so fearful that they weren't going to be able to get to the store, and they were going to go hungry, and so they were out buying all kinds of stuff. And toilet paper fit in there as well, but certainly not a fear of food in that respect, but still a lack mentality. So other things, other traumas and fears and experiences and limiting beliefs, they shift the DNA. So if someone has suffered abuse way back, the pattern tends to follow forward. So you might end up finding yourself, heaven forbid, being pressed, even though you know about this history and you think it's going to stop with me. There could be some kind of triggering situation where all of a sudden you lash out and you think, oh my gosh, and then you've got this huge amount of guilt that you're suffering after having done it. Or you could be someone who ends up getting in a relationship with an abuser, creating that pattern over and over again. It's the same thing with alcoholism. So for me, when I went into the process, what I decided I wanted to work on was my very long-held, lifelong held pattern of being the people-pleasing good girl. And I saw that modeled in my grandmother. This is on my father's side. I saw that modeled in my grandmother and her daughter, and I actually did get to know my great-grandmother on that side as well, and it was the same thing. And every single one of them, and myself included, all have digestive issues. So when I went in, I thought, okay, I want to clear this. I want to get rid of this. I'm tired of feeling like I've got to take care of everybody else first. I've got to do everything for everyone else first. Just keep everyone happy, and the amount of stress that it was creating inside my body, and the difficulties I'm having with digestion, or was having with digestion. So when I went through the process, and it's a very powerful process. It's part energetic, it's part hypnotic, there's also neurolinguistic programming involved. So it really does affect in so many levels and layers. So when I was going through the process, I had this very strong image of a little girl peeking, like she was hiding behind a tree and peeking around the tree, and seeing her mother being tortured and killed as a witch. And so then she develops, of course, this idea that in order to be safe, I've got to hide. I've got to be small. I got to keep everybody happy and take care of everybody first, so that nothing happens to me. And then that idea, that belief, that fear changes her DNA, and it creates the DNA in the lines that went down. So that's what I so powerfully saw and so powerfully felt. And then just the release of it. And I really do feel a lot freer and more open ever since having gone through the process. And as well, my digestion is being affected positively. So that's it. If you want to connect with me, just send me a message, and I would be happy to work with you in clearing this for not just you, but for your ancestors and for future generations to come. So thank you. Take care.